Whew. All right. Hello, everyone. We are live, and I am excited to be chatting with you today on my somewhat acceptable hotel Wi-Fi that seems to be holding up so far. I'm trying out a new plugin, show my chat /c/ Joshua K. Goldberg, courtesy of Ben Myers, who was on my stream last time. So right now it's blank, but if I send it hello world, in theory, hey, there it is. Look at that. Look at that beautiful little thing there. So I'm just gonna send Ben an appreciation tweet. So heck yeah. I'm using my stream today and it's working perfectly. Thank you very much. Oh, well, I guess I don't need to tweet at you then. But yeah, let me just send it in the Twitch chat. Hello, how's it going? How are you? Yeah, I'm starting to take the advice of people who know better than me on Twitch things, who have a little more experience, or a lot in your case. And yeah, I'm really digging this just the default theme for Show My Chat. Good, I'm glad you're well. Um, I don't know. I'm in a good mood. Everything is going great. Look at this. Uh, cool. So I'm just gonna. I actually don't have as much time for the stream as I normally want to. Oh no, overflow issue. Oh, you're talking about the text on the right? Interesting. Well, if it's open source, I'd be happy to contribute maybe on the next stream. Yeah, for anyone who's interested, just go to Twitch, twitch.tv/Joshua K. Goldberg, where you already are, and the chat will be there. But I posted a link to Ben D. Myers on Twitter and showmy.chat/c/Joshua K. Goldberg. But yeah, I only have an hour. I'm meeting someone for drinks, and then I also have to do a bunch of work. So it is open source. Awesome. That's right. You did mention this. Long links are causing. Should I file an issue here? Oh, you've got a good labeling system. I love an open source project that has labels. Bug, enhancement, overlay config, URL to whatever the thing is. Like, it's so useful for open source people, or people trying to get involved with open source, to see that any particular issue has some particular label category. So yeah, I'm going to be a good citizen. Bug, long links are causing scroll bars. Thanks so much for making this service. Oh my god, I didn't even start. Star. One. It's working great for me. Sparkling hearts. One note, long links in the chat are causing horizontal scroll bar. Oh, thanks for subscribing, Ben. I still have to figure out what to do with subscribers and all, but much appreciated. You will get whatever rewards or shenanigans come from it when there are some. Instead of overflowing to the next line. And is this a bug? And I will take a screenshot of my, I'm going to look at the camera when I take the screenshot, my OBS. Does that look clear-ish? Yeah, close enough. Oh, yes. On the default theme. Of default theme in OBS as a browser source with long links causing a horizontal overflow scroll bar in Windows. Does this is this good info? Is this enough to go off of? Looks good to me. Yay, golden. Thank you. Awesome. Life is good. But all right, let's dig in. All right, so I wanted to get a little bit of progress made on some issues in TypeScript ESLint. I'm trying to keep us below 300. That's a nice little arbitrary milestone. Ideally below 256. That's a slightly less but still arbitrary milestone. And there are a bunch of issues I've filed. And this is now in progress. Consider removing rule related to references to TSLint. So TSLint is the linter that came before TypeScript ESLint. TSLint is like ESLint, a linter, meaning it finds your source code issues statically for you without running the code. But TSLint is dead. If you actually go to github.com, Palantir, wow, it's not even auto-completing in my browser anymore, /TSLint, you'll see that the repo has been archived. It's now read-only. It was an extensible linter for the TypeScript language. Half of these badges don't even work, but it was replaced with TypeScript ESLint. And yet, on the TypeScript ESLint website, if you go to, I don't know, no floating promises, that's a rule that was in TSLint, we still have references to the TSLint rule docs in a bunch of places. This is a legacy thing. Back when TSLint was deprecated around 2019, a lot of people were coming over from TSLint to TypeScript ESLint and needed to know which rules mapped to each other. Some of their names are different. And generally, TSLint had more docs at the time because it had been around for longer. Now there's really no need to refer to a project that's been out of commission for several years. So I'm gonna do my part in killing ESLint and remove all the references to it from these related to sections. See, I have a couple of thumbs up. Oh, from two fellow maintainers, Brad and Armando. Yeah. So if we look, ooh, I have some unstashed. These are probably from some PRS checking. All right. Boop, boop, boop. Oh boy, look at that. Look at that resize performance in VS Code. Great. All right, so, look, this terminal is messing up. There we go. Git checkout main, git pull upstream main, git pull upstream main, git push. Oh, I almost forgot. I should post this on Twitter, what I'm doing. So I'm going to do a search for anything that references TSLint in the rule docs. Rule docs are stored as did not mean to open that, as .md files. So like if we go to, I guess array type is something I opened recently, they're in this big folder, docs/rules, under the ESLint plugin package, which means if I copy relative path, Control-Shift-F, to do a search and include only packages, ESLint plugin, docs, rules, start.md, and look up TSLint, I will get a full list of all the TSLint shenanigans that we reference. So 127 results in 50 files. Now I wish there was an easy way to just open all these files normally in the editor, but I don't know of a way to do that. Like open an editor opens this like search view, and from here I don't know how to open all these like as files. What I'd like to do is just open each individual file. However, what I have noticed is if I keep pressing the down arrow on my keyboard while in this view, it will open each file individually. So that's a cool thing. I wonder if there's like an open search. No. Open files. No. Yeah, so that's how I'm going to open all these files. And if you in the chat, dear viewer, know of a way to open all these things that is less amateur than what I'm doing, that would be wonderful. Oh, and let me paste that URL here that I just tweeted out to the issue in the chat. Boop. Cool. All right. So The issue is we don't need to link to ESLint docs anymore because ESLint has been dead for years. So whenever we see a related to, that's just ESLint rules, we can delete it. If there's more than just ESLint, we can only remove the ESLint parts. And if there's stuff left over, then we keep it. So this rule, strict Boolean expressions, is also related to no unnecessary condition, which is a similar rule. So that's cool. All right. I'm afraid this might not be the most exciting task to watch for the next 2 minutes, but hey, maybe this is soothing to you. Maybe you're the type of person who likes to watch someone do repetitive tasks in code over around 50 files or so, because it's calming to you. If that's you, then good for you. I actually do really enjoy watching people do repeated tasks. Ben, what's your relaxing video to watch? Your equivalent of like a fireplace with smooth jazz, which is one of mine. Do you have a relaxing video thing you like to watch or listen to? While you're thinking, I used to listen to, it's this video game soundtrack, Fragrance of Dark Coffee, I think, like on loop, on repeat for like hours and hours. It's just really good background jazz. Let me look it up now, actually. Fragrance, yeah, with rainy mood. Oh, so good. Good. I'm glad I am your rainy mood fragrance of dark coffee. Good stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I think humans have this, well, a lot of humans at least. We have this natural kind of pattern in our brain that you can sync up to it. The background noise, it just makes things feel a little more pleasant. Makes it easier to concentrate. We're almost there. Oh, look at that. Ban ESLint comment. When not to use it. If you are still using ESLint. Yeah, we're gonna probably be able to deprecate this rule eventually, but that's a whole other thing. Maybe in another major version. All right, and we're done. So I'm just gonna do a quick search for ESLint again in these rules. We can ignore the ban ESLint comment.md file. Rationale from ESLint. We can just say this is our rationale. Rationale from ESLint. We don't need to quote. Oh boy. I'm going to do a find on new lines that then have a right arrow or right caret thingy next to them. Let's kill these. All right. What is this? Know this alias. Prohibits assigning variables for this. Oh man. I once joined a project. This was a project that had been written before TypeScript hit 1.0. Like this is older. And they had var self equals this all over the place because apparently there was some IE bug or something where this got removed when you were debugging or some like ridiculous thing. So just every function that referred to this had to do var self equals this. It was very annoying to see. All right. So what is this? Type def to enforce type definitions existing on all call signatures as per ESLint's 2 rules. Options. Use explicit function return type or explicit module boundary types. So we can just say to do this thing, use. We don't have to say per ESLint. All right, so that's 48 files changed. I'm gonna make a PR for this. Git checkout B. How should I call this? Remove rule ESLint related to docs. Remove references. Docs for the ESLint plugin. remove references to ESLint, or remove related to references to ESLint. Yep, push. Oops, I forgot to get add all. I'm in Berlin because tomorrow and the day after are Prisma Day conference and workshops, which I'm very excited about. I'm hoping to finally get to use Remix for more than 5 minutes at a time. There's a workshop about using Remix data loaders and Prisma, which I'm pretty excited about. Sound off in the chat if you've used Prisma before. Yay, Prisma. If you haven't, to give it a brief overview, it's really cool. It's a ORM, or Object Relation Manager, I always forget what it stands for, that lets you define how your database is supposed to look, and then generates like database fields and a client for you. So it's kind of reminiscent of Swagger or GraphQL, but it's specifically for code that interacts directly with the database. It's just really fantastic. Like, one of my clients uses it, and it just does so much for you. You get this really nice like Prisma object with fields properties for each of your database tables. So you can do like prisma.user.findMany and then pass in some where clause. It's great. So for this PR, it's a straight removal of references, of most references to ESLint from the ESLint plugin package. ESLint has been deprecated for years now. All right. Created. GitHub has started defaulting to draft PR instead of regular, but this is a docs one, so I'm not super worried about slight build issues. Cool, so that's that. Next up is it's a new issue template. I'm going to do an actual code issue third, but for now I want to just do a little bit of repo maintenance stuff. Let me post this on the Twitter. Oh boy, I have notifications. That's good. And boop, boop, boop. Always more maintenance to be done. I feel like there really is just always more stuff that I want to get done on this repo, like new templates to add, new automations for opening or closing or rewriting or complaining about issues, whatever. It's fine. Just a lot to do. Here we go. Post in the chat. All right. So add new issue template for changing recommended configs. So there's this configs readme in the ESLint plugin package that documents the recommended configs. Wait, didn't we add? I added a strict config. So we have ESLint recommended, which is just something that messes with the ESLint recommended rule set. There's our actual recommended rule set, which is an opinionated set of rules that we generally recommend basically everyone use. Oh, and here we go. Suggesting changes to the recommended set. Actually, I see now. This, if you look at the commit hash in the URL, this is from an older version. If we go to the main, we see that this page has been moved to docs.linting configs.md, which corresponds to TypeScript ESLint.io / docs.linting configs. Yeah, here we go. So we have several configurations, which is a preset list of ESLint rule enabling, disabling, and settings. So if you just want whatever comes with ESLint, you can use our ESLint recommended rule to swap out the core ESLint rules with their TypeScript capable equivalents, because core ESLint doesn't always support TypeScript syntax. We have our own recommended rules that require type checking, and then strict rules, which are really the nice big ones. Which actually reminds me, there's this weird little quirk in how the rule configs are set up that no config includes rules from any other config after ESLint recommended. So ESLint recommended gets included in all of these, I think, or at least in recommended it does. I forget. Does this mention on the page ESLint? Nope, doesn't mention. Anyway, however, the strict rule set, you have to also enable requiring type checking and recommended. It doesn't directly enable it for you. Look, you'll be back? Okay. Have fun. Thanks, Johnny. I'm soothing. Sorry, I turn away from the chat for 2 minutes and I get complimented. Nice. I like this. Yeah. I don't know. I always think of myself as like a very hyperactive person. It's weird that you're not the first to mention this calming thing. I think it's that I'm just so at peace with coding. It makes me happy. Anyway, so before I actually add a new issue template, or sorry, yeah, before I start requesting changes to these things, like maybe we should just make it so strict includes the recommended ones so you don't have to enable 3 because that's really confusing. I want a new issue template for changing configs. We have a whole bunch of issue templates, maybe even too many, but it's a mono repo, so we have like so many things that people tends to request. So you could report a bug with a rule. You want a new rule option, a new rule, a new base rule extension, which is different from adding a new rule. Docs change, bug in another package. So a package other than ESLint plugin, an enhancement or new feature, complex bug with a repro. Yeah, so there are a lot of them, but I don't know, it makes sense. It makes sense to why we're doing things. So if you go to issued, you search for issue YAML in the repo, you'll find there's this folder .github/issue template 5-documentation request. YAML is an example file in there. We order them, or they are ordered for us by their name, so we put numbers in front of them. But actually we're hitting double digits now. So I'm gonna put a 0 in front of all of them so that 10 doesn't get sorted next to 1 and before 2. 0, 0, 0, 9. And it's very rare that someone will want like a new config change, but I don't know where to put it. I guess let's put repo maintenance at 10 because that's not actually user facing, and then I'll put like I'll copy from an enhancement new rule. That's like a good generic one. I'll put config change as 9, so it's second last. Why not? All right, so close to the writing. Yeah, config change. Let's call this the refresh icon cycle recycle. I propose a change to preset configurations. Proposes an addition, removal, or change, or general change to preset configs. Does that have a period at the end already? Let me look at another one. Curious if anyone here has great pro tips for issue forms on GitHub, because honestly, I love them. I think they're one of the best new features GitHub's come out with in recent years. It's truly magical. Like, we're forcing people to fill out the information we need for the issues. That's, who would have thought we'd be able to do that? Because this is the form you get with an issue form. Like, there are required fields and stuff. Oh, it's truly wonderful. Oh yeah, let me post this in the chat. Oop, and I'm gonna get that GitHub issue forms documentation link for y'all too. Yeah, it came out less than a year ago, and it's labeled as still being in beta. All right. So, configs. Short description of my proposal. Labels. Okay, I need a new label for this. Package, ESLint plugin, enhancements. Do we have a label already? Fun fact, /labels under your repo is the label for, or the URL file, your labels. I'm searching for config. I don't have one yet. So I'm going to enhancement new plugin rule. I'm going to look at all my other enhancements. New label, enhancement, or I guess it might not be an enhancement. It might be like I'll just call it like preset config change. I'll copy the description here. Proposal for an addition, removal, or general change to preset configs to a preset config. Let's use singular. People aren't generally going to be requesting multiple configs be changed at a time. And it's fine, grammatically speaking, if this is slightly off with singular versus plural. Okie dokie. So label preset config change. Make him alphabetical. All right, so we have sanity checks, which is not a term I like personally. I don't like using the word sanity, but it's fine. This has been existing for a while, and I know a lot of repos do this. Let's see. Before you file a proposal, please confirm you've done the following. If any are not taken, we may not be able to review your issue. Help us to help you. I've searched for related issues, so I'm going to want to get this search URL, which keeps opening up in the wrong window. And instead of label enhancement new plugin rule, it's, what's the label I just made 2 minutes ago? Preset config change. There we go. So there are no results because I haven't used this label yet, but I trust. I trust. I have searched for related issues and found none that match my proposal. We don't need to verify that they've looked at the current rule list and found no rules that match. That's not related. And I've read the FAQ, it was always good. All right. I don't think we need checkboxes to verify that the proposal matches this project. This is a pretty niche template. Description. Explain what your proposed config change would do and why this is useful. For example, placeholder, we should enable XYZ super duper useful fancy rule for all users in the fancy rule for the recommended config. So we don't need test, pass, and fail cases. Any additional info is good. Okay, I'd also like to see ID impacted configs, impacted configurations. Which existing configs does this issue request changes to? Request changing. All right. So this looks good to me. By the way, I'd like to remind y'all that, well, 2 things. One, we're halfway through. I'm going to have to leave it around 9:30. Second, please do ask any questions you want, make any comments. You can talk to me about code in general, about life, about TypeScript ESLint, advice for learning TypeScript or whatnot. I'm always happy to answer. I've got my soothing voice on today because Johnny Riley asked for it. Or at least I heard that. All right, so let's check out B, issue form config change, repo, or I guess chore, add issue form for config changes. Just get it all twice, because last time I did 0 times. You can't see it because my terminal is going, but I'm typing in. Yeah, I would love to do an audiobook of my learning TypeScript book that I wrote and published recently. Buy it now. I don't think I've ever actually come across an audiobook for a programming textbook, but I really like that idea. We already have podcasts for technical topics. Like, why wouldn't you want this? Also, yarn check form. Oh no, I just I uh I, I canceled it impatiently at the very end. Dash dash no verify. Okay, so now it doesn't give me the nice URL to click. That's fine. It normally suggests the URL that I'm now visiting, which is also suggested on the website. Cool. So the oh man, I lost my tab. I made a 2-stream folder. Add new issue template. There it is. 4822. Let's and I also closed my PR. What is happening? Where are all my tabs? Oh, man, I'm a mess today. Here we go. It addresses the existing open issue, yes, which was marked as accepting PRs. I marked it, and I followed the steps. We're now up to double-digit issue forms. Sweat smile. I've been using sweat smile more recently as the emoji. I don't know why. It just kind of matches my vibe these days. All right. So I also see I got a little red X for failing build on my remove related to references. What's going on? Who's complaining? Website test pull request is complaining. That's not good. I swear to God, if we have Cypress Plague, I'm going to be so upset. Ugh. So annoying. Cypress could not verify that localhost 3000 running. There's some weirdness that's stopping this from running. Actually, let me just. I'm going to check out the previous PR. GHPR checkout. Yarn starts. Just wanted to make sure I didn't like actually crash the website or something. Love a Docusaurus website. Shout out Docusaurus. Great web framework. So let me post the PR I just sent. Actually, I'll post a link to polls Joshua K. Goldberg so you can see both my pull requests under that link. Come on, Docusource. 25-second Webpack compile. That's more than I was expecting. All right, so the website didn't blow up. So I'm going to pretend this didn't happen and rerun the single job with debug logging. I don't think debug logging will help you. I don't think we have it set up for anything, but you never know. All right, so I got these two friends building here. Cool beans. Next up is an actual code change. Finally, actually before that, look, that was a green. Oh, it's got more things. Yeah, this one, I'll just close the tab. Use rule name and bug report from Playground if only one is selected. This one is a chunkier change and I think more exciting. So when opening an issue from the website, if only one ESLint rule is enabled, it can use that rule's name instead of rule name here. And by opening the issue from the website, I mean an example like this, where actually, I keep forgetting. Let me post this in the chat so y'all can see. If we want to, whoa, my computer just went to low battery and switched to the other window. If we want to say file an issue, there's this report as issue button here. And when we click it, we get bug rule name here. But there's only one rule actually enabled in the config, in the ESLint config right here. So in theory, we really should put the bug as like bug array type. Like that. Like that would just be nice and convenient. So I'm gonna just mosey on over with Twitter. Thanks XNFT for liking my tweets. More to the end of the thread. Actual code changes now. Yay. Oop. Moving on down. Right. So instead of rule name here, so where does rule name here actually come from in code? Switch back to the main branch. Rule name here as a search. Markdown.ts. So we see that we have this params object that Armano, who has been doing amazing work on this website, reach made, and then it gets turned into URL search params to string. So these are the params that get added to the URL when you click that report new issue button. And the title here is bug, rule name here, short description of the issue. So I'm saying, let's say that we have like const only rule name equals array type or rule name here. So we can interpolate. Now the question is, how do we determine whether there is only one rule name enabled? And well, state is this type config model, which has an ESLint RC and a TS config. Oh, but they're stringified. Are we going to have to parse the ESLint RC? I don't want to have to do that. Let's find where this is called. So I'm actually going to put a debugger in my browser locally. Boop, boop, boop. Let's zoom out a couple times so I get that nice report its issue button. Sorry that it's so small. That's what she said. If I search create markdown parent, there's no results. Report, or what was it? Rule name here. Can I search that? Rule name here. Oh man, does DocuSource not do source maps? That's upsetting. Let's refresh. And report is issued. There we go. So we hit the breakpoint. And there are no source maps, so this is unintelligible to me. All right, so I'm just gonna do a search, or find out references rather. Who calls create markdown params? It's an option selector, which takes in the states, which is a parameter property to option selector content, which is a component which takes in props from option selector. This is what it's like to search with TypeScript, which takes in state, control click to go to definition, which is a hash states. Okay. So this hash state has some effects, which I would presume keep URL in sync. I'm glossing over this a little bit because I don't want to take too long. I do have to go soon. All right. Excuse me. It's 9:10 p.m. near me, Berlin. I've had a liter of beer over the last 3 hours. Not drunk, just tired. Because that's where I am in my life. I get tired before I can get inebriated, which is like weirdly convenient to make sure I don't do that thing. Anyway. You know what? I'm just going to .parse. We use JSON.parse in places, I think. I'm going to look in packages, websites. All right, what is to JSON config? What does this do? Okay, that's some to JSON thing, which stringifies. So, all right, that's not quite what I want. So yeah, I'm just gonna JSON.parse. Const ESLint config equals JSON.parse state dots ESLint RC as Do we have an ESLint type? Like a type for the ESLint RC? Do we have that? Well, never mind. I'm just gonna rules equals whatever as rules unknown. So now I'm just going to look up rules colon space. Okay, here we go. Type ESLint RC. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Rules is this rules record, which is, what is this? TS ESLint linter rules. Okay, whatever. That looks fancy. Fine. All right. So rules dot, what is it? Const rule keys equals object dot keys of rules. So if there's exactly one rule, the length is 1. So if there's only one key, we use rule keys 0. Otherwise, we use rule name here. Cool. So let's get rid of these breakpoints locally. I can zoom in a couple times. Report as issue. The page is freezing a little bit. Oops. I clicked something. Report as issue. No. I will guess I have to put the breakpoint back. Where did the... There it is. Okay. Sources. I'll put the breakpoint back here. Oh my god, this is the TypeScript ESLint.io/play. Localhost 3000 plays different. I'm such a silly goose. This is fine. All right. And go. Report an issue. Yes! Look at this. Amazing. We also don't have unit test here, so I can't TDD this, but nice. So, fun fact, we don't really require this in the rule or issue name because all of our rules are prefixed with TypeScript ESLint. So I'm just gonna replace that with nothing. 11% battery. Perfect. All right. So now if we go back to our localhost demo site, refresh just to be sure, even though we probably don't need it. And click report as issue. Yes, look at that. Look at that. And then if we add in another rule, let's call it no floating promises, one of my favorites. No floating promises. It should be back to rule name here. Yes. I love it. I love it. All right, cool. So that means we're basically ready to commit, I think. Oh, actually, we should try catch this. Thank you. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate you. Function, I just realized if the JSON is invalid, I don't want to crash here. So try parse rule JSON. Is there like a try anywhere already that wraps a, oh, look at this. Armando has already written everything for me. Nice. All right. Look at that. I don't even need to typecast or anything. And I just need to import. Look at that auto import magic. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. And I have this unused import. All right. Nice. And this does like the good thing of making sure that it has a rules object and all this stuff. Cool. So let me just make sure that if I open a new, yep, there we go, still works. Very happy. This was fun. I feel like I enjoy these kinds of like little React shenanigans. Makes me happy. All right, so I'm just gonna send this pull request out and post it in the chat. So don't have any other content for y'all today. Nice quick little stream. Laptop's gonna die soon. So let me know what do you all want to talk about? Who should I raid? All great questions. I personally am very enthused about how this went down, but let me know if you have any questions or comments on this, on TypeScript, ESLint, any of that stuff. Open new issue, single rule. Beat websites. Open issue with single rule name if only one enabled. Open issue with rule name if only one rule is enabled. Would also love to know, are any of y'all going to the conferences this month or the next that are happening? I feel like we have a whole bunch this summer. There's, I think React Summit and We Are Devs this week. You've returned just in time to watch me send a pull request. Welcome back. We've got Prisma Day workshops and then talks tomorrow and the day after, respectively. There's like at least one other conference happening soon. And these are all like hybrid, I think. I don't think I've seen any solo or like just what do you call it? Like just in person ones. I think they're all hybrid. Yeah, definitely all going to be streamed online. I'm talking at Prisma Day later this week about using TypeScript in Prisma. It's going to be a fun talk about TypeScript type shenanigans. I also have seen the lineup for like React Summit, and that also looks pretty intense and good. So definitely recommend these things. Yeah, I feel like responding to Ben on the business case, I feel like it's so useful to go to these conferences, but also so hard to articulate like exactly what the business case is. Like, yes, you learn a lot, you network, you meet people. Maybe it's good for recruiting. Personal growth is always good, but it's hard to like put that into, I don't know, like money. There is actually a really cool Sean Wang, Swix, tweeted it earlier today, and I forget, it's some principle. I don't know if any of y'all can autocomplete what I'm thinking of. It's a fallacy or like a common mistake people do. McNamara, there it is. Yes. First you measure what can be easily measured, which is good, and then you disregard what can't, which is so insightful and such a common frustration. And I feel like conferences are something that falls into this, where it's really hard to measure how conferences are impactful in a positive way, but they definitely are. So anyway, I'm getting the flashing red, so I'm gonna try to raid someone now. Right after sending this last pull request. There you go. Oop. So where's that raid button? Okay, CM Griffing is going, so I'm gonna send y'all over there before my laptop dies. This has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you all for the chats. And again, Ben for the awesome little chat plugin thing. Good stuff. Bye, everyone. Actually, bye-bye, I mean starting raid. While I send this PR. Okay, bye.